Today I'm prepping the skull that Tyler found. He's already done some work to remove the bulk of the rock. What I'm going to be doing is removing the last bit of rock and getting down to the bone using a variety of methods. At the moment I'm using an air scribe to get down to that last millimeter of bone, and then I'm going to be using either micro air abrasion or vinegar, acetic acid with a buffer in it to remove that last little bit. This is the air abrasion unit. The dolomite I'm using is quite a soft material, so it won't damage the bone. The stylus of the scribe is tungsten carbide, a very hard material, so it can't ever touch the fossil because it will leave gouge marks in it, which will mean we'll lose some of the scientific data in there. Because what you're wanting to do is you want to preserve as much information as possible. Even little scrapes and bite marks can be important. I'm making use of two different air scribes over here, and the air scribes are like little jackhammers. They don't have a grinding action, they're actually chipping away at the rock. You can see there's a smaller one with a sharp stylus, and then I've got the larger one with the chisel attachment, which is good for removing bulk rock. What I'm doing with the small one is finding where the bone is and following it, and once I have a good idea of the shape of what I'm working with, then I can use the larger one to remove the bulk rock. You can kind of tell when you're getting close to the bone because there's a slight change in color. The matrix gets slightly darker when you get close to the bone over there, and that's my signal to stop. Every time the fossil's wet, it means it's just come from an acid cycle, which means it was in the vinegar, the acetic acid, for a few hours, and then in fresh water for a day or so. And the fresh water has to be cycled a couple of times. You can now start seeing that typical dolphin skull shape over here. It's got that high crest at the top there where the blowhole is. And then here towards the front of the camera, that's the rostrum, so where the jaw would be. Over here I'm not sure where the bone is, so what I'm doing is I'm using the small air scribe to go down a few millimeters, and then I use the larger one to go down to that layer, and then the smaller one again, and then the larger one until I find the bone again. You really don't want to unexpectedly run into the bone and damage it. When the concretion gets put in the vinegar, the acetic acid, it breaks down some of the calcite. This makes the rock a lot weaker because the calcite is what cements the grains together. And then I can use this micro air abrasion unit from Vannyman, and I can remove that last little bit without damaging the bone. There was this bit of bone in a weird position, not where I expected it to be, so I've been working around it. And at this point I'm sure it's not connected to the actual skull. And over here I finally remove it, and I lift it up very carefully, and thank goodness there's no bone at the bottom, so it's definitely not connected to the skull. I'm putting this aside. It's a really good bone sample, so I'm not sure what part of bone it is, but it's definitely worth keeping. And now for the final bit of prep, until we've removed all the rock we can with the air scribes. It's really now starting to look like a skull. Oh yeah, I'd almost forgotten about this part. This was a lot of work trying to get the rock out of those deep grooves in there. You can see I'm having to hold my stylus at a very weird angle just to kind of get in there. And now all the air scribe and air abrasion work is done, and it's ready for the final vinegar bath. This is always a very exciting moment. And here it goes into the vinegar, 5% vinegar with a lot of buffer. Calcium triphosphate is what I use on this fossil, but it can change from fossil to fossil. It's about 2.5 weeks later now, and I've done 10 acid cycles on that cetacean skull, and it's looking pretty good. Let's go take a look. Okay, are you guys ready for the reveal? It's under this towel. And here we go. Ta-da! What a cool skull. That is a beautiful little tiny cetacean skull. You can see, so it's missing the brain case. The brain case would have been at the back here, but otherwise it's in really, really good shape. I'm not sure what kind of cetacean it is. Is it a dolphin? Or is it something like a beaked whale? But yeah, it's quite weird. There's a few cool things about it. Firstly, it's not symmetrical. I don't know if you can see it here, but if you follow this along, it's definitely got a curve to it. Like, I'll try and keep it there, but yeah, that's looking straight at it, and that's definitely not symmetrical. And over on this side, this is a very large tooth, or large in relation to the size of the animal. So beaked whales do have those weird teeth that come out, so I wonder if it's one of those. And I suspect this thing over here, that I suspect is also a large tooth kind of curling up over there. Oftentimes a fossil like this would lay in the ocean floor for a while before it gets covered and fossilized, and in that time the bacteria can eat away at the surface. And to find a bone like this or a skull like this in such good condition is very rare for this location, because for some reason the bone from there is never in really good shape. The crabs are amazing, but the bone is oftentimes, very worn away or just quite rotten. You might be able to see it, but it does have a few cracks going through it. So I've had to fill those up with as much B72 as I can, because the acid would also go into those cracks and you don't really want that. So you kind of want to seal it off with as much B72 as you can. This is the blowhole area, and I suspect that's going to tell us what kind of dolphin this is. So I'm going to go give this back to Tyler, and I suspect he's going to try and prep the bottom side. There might be a little bit of the bottom mandible in there, which would be awesome, maybe even a few more teeth. But yeah, so he's going to carry on prepping the bottom there. I usually come over to Sketchfab to try and picture what I'm looking at, because this fossil's not complete, and here we've got a really nice complete dolphin skull. And you can see it's got the brain case at the back, and it's got the bottom jaw, the mandible, intact over here. The fossil we've got hasn't got the mandible, so I'm just erasing the mandible here. And it also doesn't have the brain case, so I'm just going to roughly erase the brain case just to kind of show what we've got with our fossil. And then we also don't have the front part of the rostrum. We're missing that part. So yeah, this is pretty much what we're looking at when we're looking at our fossil. Thanks so much, Tyler, for letting me prep this amazing dolphin skull. It's such a beautiful fossil. This, really love it, and I can't wait to see what he does with the bottom part of it. Yeah, and thanks everyone for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the voiceover. If you didn't, leave a comment and I'll do a video edit with just the music playing next time. And thanks to all the new patrons. I'm one step closer to doing this full time, and I really appreciate the support. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the next hunt.